Day 3 here at the SiGMA Europe Summit. I am joined with Julien Laurent from Group 1B. Julien, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me, Maria.
So, I wanted to start off with what's your take on our new venue, on our expo this year? Tell me more.
Yeah, it's our first time here for Group IB. We are a cybersecurity and fraud company. We worked historically in investigation, and as our very first time to come here. We've been working for a few years with some gambling and iGaming company, but it's our first time here at SiGMA, and we really enjoyed it. So we had a couple of panels, and we already decided next year we're coming back bigger. Because it's a great event, great energy, right level of contact. We really enjoy.
Tell me more about how you're fostering cybersecurity when it comes to the end user.
Right, so it's actually a very good point. So our goal is really to help the gambling industry to get the right balance between complying with compliance, regulation in AML, and stopping fraud to make sure that the gamers are really enjoying a bit.
So it's like two different departments?
So that's it. Often within the gamblers, it's two different departments. But because we are joining the two, we enable them to also not only have better solution, but to have better work between the two, usually departments which are not necessarily working together. And that was the subject to one of the panels we had yesterday. And so it's really to help them get this new knowledge that you can comply to regulation without spoiling the fun. If you know what you're doing.
So it's more of a B2B focus.
Yeah, definitely B2B.
With a focus on the end user.
That's it, with a focus on the end user. What we find is sometimes in the industry, people tend to either not do enough in compliance, like not really knowing where to go, or sometimes they do too much. And we come in and say, hey, no, you're creating friction here. You don't need to create that friction. Because we have background in working with law enforcement, with regulators.
Okay.
We understand it well, and we help them adapt to each jurisdiction.
Perfect. So, Julian, what are the markets that you're targeting when it comes to compliance? Or it depends on the business that you are receiving, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, so we are global, so we work in every market, but we come mostly from investigation. Then we work with financial sector, e-commerce, and obviously e-gaming. And gambling, and so for us is that the really free sector where we have a lot of activity, because there's a lot of similarities. Likely in reality, the fraudsters are operating in all three. They don't just work on against the iGambling industry. So by taking the knowledge that we have working with banks and other sector, we are able to better catch them. Again, with less friction as possible, make sure that the games stay fun.
Apart from the gaming industry, are there any other industries that you are helping with your compliance services and with your cybersecurity services?
Yeah. So finance, bank, we have some regulators sometimes. E-commerce is big as well, crypto, FX, so every kind of fintech, e-commerce, and online gaming and gambling.
Perfect. What were some of the main key points that emerged from yesterday's panel discussion? Can you highlight them?
Yeah, it was the fact, actually you touched it very instinctively at the beginning of the interview, is the fact that often these two departments don't work enough together, because in reality, mostly for our business, when you look at online casino, it's cybersecurity and fraud needs to work very closely, because they are using cyber technique to attack. And if your fraud department doesn't really understand the cyber, monitor dark web, monitor the Telegram channels that the fraudsters are using to see when they are preparing an attack against your organization, by the time you find out, it's too late. But if you are working closely with cyber and fraud, then you can see an attack coming before it happens, and you can stop it before they can impact your business.
Apart from this, what are some other preventive methods that companies can use in order to prevent cybersecurity, even when it comes to the type of money that they're accepting? Maybe when it comes to crypto, when it comes to...
And that's another great example, right? So there is a lot of things you can do with device fingerprinting, behavior. So it's know your gamers. If you really know your gamer, when a fraudster or try to attack your platform or try to impersonate them, they all have a weakness. They're not them. So if you know your gamer, imagine like knowing your gamer like you know your partner, right? Someone sends you a text, pretend to be your partner. Okay, they might fool you. But if you hear the voice, the way they talk, then you know it's not the right person. You can do the same within even the player not even realizing it, but you do this behavior, passive behavior monitoring when you know it's them. So if you have a high value customer, you don't put friction on him because you know it's him, so he can enjoy his game, but you know on the background the AI knows that it's really him playing or her, and so no friction. And we had an example on the panel when technology, sometimes or people do over compliance. A client was on Croatia, and so some of the signals say, oh, lots of KYC, but actually it was domiciliated in another country. And the money was coming from another country, meaning there was no need to do so much KYC. With the right technology, you can detect that, reduce actually the cost and the friction, because you only apply what you need to apply, not extra. No need to do extra work. Huh? We're not here to create drama.
Tell me more about the teams that are working with you in your company. What's the main focus, the main target, and how you are staying ahead of the curve?
So yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's one of these, like, I love the guys we work with. They're always pushing, always new ideas, and the goal really is what we have in Group IB is our founder really hates cyber criminals. They really hate them with passion. So it's just like a business for them. Like for them, it really matters, right? It's like, did you catch someone today? So we tend to really focus with high-level professionals. And for us, the way we see it is that we don't just sell a solution. Yeah, you always come with an analyst, an expert, because AI is cool. But AI alone doesn't solve all the problems. You need to have also people that can make the right decision, help tuning it. I always use the example, if you use an AI to do like art, online, when you don't understand how the AI work, you give instruction and what comes out is not at all what you wanted. Yeah, so you need a mix. You need a mix to make sure it adapts to your industry. And we work with many industry, and we know that setting up a system that will stop fraud in a bank, it's not at all the same thing than in the gambling industry. Different parameters, different objective, different regulation. And so you have to really have something that adapts to it, that is ready to not just say, oh, you need to work this way now because I'm in. No. What's your risk appetite? Where do you operate? Hey, okay, then we don't need to do that. Remove. This can be lighter. It's really customizing and adapting to the guys.
The whole situation. What would you say was the biggest cyber attack detection that you had? Or one of the biggest? I
need to be careful because you can never say names, right? But we had a client that they were doing betting on a Super Bowl. And a few weeks before the Super Bowl, we tested our platform, and they thought they were equipped. They said, oh, I already had that stuff. But the stuff they had was not fine-tuned for the industry. And so we did a POC with them on their website just a few weeks before the Super Bowl. And suddenly they started to see all the figures, the stuff that they didn't see before. They didn't realize that the bonus scheme was abused greatly, not only by fraudsters, but also friendly players, right? Friendly fraud. And when we finished our first report, the guys was like, the Super Bowl is in 2 weeks. Can we keep this on? We kept it on. We saved them $3 million during the Super Bowl week. Just in 1 week.
That explains a lot about your company and your brand.
And that guy was really like the easiest internal business case ever to my CEO. So 1 week, 3 million ROI.
Yes, full-on promotion.
We're good.
Thank you so much for joining us, Julian. It was a pleasure to have this nice and lovely discussion with you today.
And thank you for having us and organizing such a great event. We're really a fantastic event, great energy. It's been great being here.
Thank you. We look forward to welcoming you again next year with us.
You bet. You bet.